Hello everyone, Jonathan here. I'm out here working in what I'm sure is the hottest part of the day in the garden. I figured I'd come in the shed and take a little break, and I wanted to talk to you guys about pocket knives. Pocket knives are possibly the most useful thing a person can have on them at any given time. Not really that you're ever going to know when you're going to need it, but when you do need it, it's something that's nice to have there. As far as picking a pocket knife, I'm not going to harp on as far as brand names and that kind of thing, because everybody's going to have their own opinion or their own taste in what type of knife they're going to like, what kind of features it has, how it carries in the pocket, and how easy it is to get out and actually deploy the knife. Let's first talk about size and weight. When you're picking a pocket knife, you don't want anything that's going to be too big and it's going to laden down the pocket, or be too heavy and be something that's going to pull your pants down as it goes throughout the day. It's not really what you're looking for, and it kind of takes away from the usefulness of it if it's fighting you. You also want to be careful of what type of knife. You want to get a knife that's a good quality, and especially if it's a pocket knife, you don't want it opening up in the pocket. That could be disastrous in so many ways, and it does happen from time to time. I got scars to prove it. So when you're doing that, it's also important to think about the function of the knife. Do you want a knife that has an assisted opening? Or do you want a knife that has a thumb opener? Do you want a knife that has multiple blades on it with different uses? I myself like a single bladed knife. I have to say I'm not that big a fan of a serrated edge, but it does seem to be all the rage with knife manufacturers these days. I'm just more of a fan of having the knife good and sharp on its standard blade. The serrades offer, I'm sure most of you know, a mechanical advantage in cutting most materials, but they're not 100% necessary as long as one knows how to properly care for and sharpen their knife. Alright, also you'd want to look for a knife that has a good locking mechanism, so that once the blade is out, the blade does not return back on your hands and have an opportunity to close and hurt you. So a locking mechanism is very important. My personal knife, it's very worn, very well used, is a Benchmade. I just think they put out a really good product, and even with extended use and abuse, as you can see from this one, it still functions perfectly. The locking mechanism is excellent on it. The blade has no wiggle to it. It's very, very solid. It's lasted through a deployment and all the other crap I've put it through. Excellent choice in knife. Most folks may be looking to get something with more different utilitarian factors, so you might be looking at like a Swiss Army style knife, and the Swiss Army style knives are great, but usually I find it's a little better to have something like a multi-tool around to handle those tasks. Regardless of what type of tool it is, it does make it a little bit better than having everything on your knife there, and it allows you to carry a little bit smaller and lighter knife, whereas you can keep this in a vehicle and don't have to keep it on your person. I do like to have a knife with a belt clip, or with not a belt clip but a pocket clip, so it just kind of hangs it there nice and conveniently, and the knife is always in easy reach and I can just pull it out. If I need to cut something, I like having the open and assist because it doesn't require a secondary hand to open the blade, and if I'm holding something that I do need to work on or cut on, or a package or what have you, it's nice to be able to work on that without having to go to your second hand. That's really all I wanted to cover today, folks. I just wanted to make sure you put a little bit of attention and thought into your purchase before you go out and make that purchase. A good pocket knife can easily run you a couple of $100s. If it's something that you're going to be using and keeping on you for years, and especially if you know you're the type of person who can keep up with their kit throughout the day and not lose things or leave them behind, it's really a very solid investment and something you'll be happy you did and happy you've had around for years and years.